He's from Southwest Minnesota State.
Michelle Kirk combined elite athletic performance, academic excellence, and leadership to become one of the most accomplished student athletes in Southwest Minnesota State women's basketball history. A four-year letter winner, Kirk emerged as one of the top players in the NSIC, earning first-team all-conference honors 3 times and being named the 2005 NSIC Player of the Year. During her senior season, she led the conference in both scoring and assists, a rare accomplishment that showcased her ability to impact the game in every facet. Her outstanding play earned her Regional Player of the Year honors and All-America recognition. Kirk finished her career among the all-time leaders in nearly every major statistical category. She still ranks among the program's best in scoring, assists, three-point field goals, free throws, and field goals made. Her success carried over into the classroom as well. In 2005, she became the first women's basketball player in school history to earn academic All-America honors, adding another milestone to an already remarkable career. Ladies and gentlemen, Michelle Kirk.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michelle Kirk.
This is very James Harden-like efficiency for you. What went into being such an impactful player, not just throughout your career, but in particular your senior season?
I think a lot of credit goes to Coach Kruger's motion offense. I came into Southwest with the scorer's mentality, but his motion offense really taught us how to read the defense and take what they gave us, and just our team worked really, really hard at learning that motion and playing off each other. So I think, by my senior year, I had a better feel for that, and the team that I've been playing with, we just had a great feel for that. So, I really just think it came down to that, and balancing those two things, scoring and assists. The assist piece, that's really a team statistic that just shows how well we played together. I think there were definitely times that I drove into the lane trying to create a shot for myself, and I'd get stuck, and I'd be, like, oh crap, and then my teammates would play off me and get open, and I'd feed them the ball, and in order for it to count as an assist, they had to finish the play, and they did. So that number of assists really represents my teammates' abilities, I think, as much as my own.
Well, you mentioned learning about the offense and how to run that offense. Learning being the operative word because you were the first academic All-American in SMSU history. What did that mean to you when you got that honor?
Yeah, I don't think I knew that until this. So it wasn't necessarily an achievement I was pursuing actively, like maybe some of the other. What it means to me now, looking back, is just that you don't have to choose one or the other. As a former coach myself, I had athletes leave the program because they said, I want to focus on academics. So I think for me now, just looking back, I guess I'm just proud of it to show future generations and other athletes that you don't have to choose, you can, excel at both.
Whether they were coaches, professors, family members, who had the most influence on you as a student athlete?
That's a really hard question. Who had the most? And I've thought about that a lot. And obviously, I feel really just incredibly blessed by the people that God has placed in my life at different stages of my journey. And everyone has had an impact on that. But I think if I had to choose, ultimately, I would say my family, my parents, they're here today, and my siblings, and I have my oldest brother, Gabe, is here today too. And I think, it was my family who really laid the foundation for who I became as a student athlete, just modeling hard work and, integrity and all the things. And they just let me set my own goals and my own expectations for myself, gave me the resources, the opportunities, but didn't place any pressure on my own, their own on me. So I think ultimately I would have to say it was my family.
You mentioned after your playing career, you got into coaching, you also got into sports psychology. How did your experiences in Marshall lead you down that path?
I think in a lot of ways, they led me down those paths. I think from a coaching perspective, anyone who's played for Coach Kruger or knows his program knows that he expects his athletes to be students of the game. So you wouldn't find us in the hallways or in class, or especially not in the gym or the locker room, without our playbook. right, girls? So we were just constantly studying the game, and I think that really prepared me to be an effective coach and teacher of the game myself. And then from the sports psychology aspect, if I'm really honest, as much success as I had on the court, I did struggle with confidence at times, and I didn't always handle the pressure that I usually put on myself. I didn't always handle that the best at times. And so when I discovered sports psychology in grad school, I learned, that there was more to systematically manage the mental game as well. And I just was drawn to studying that and then helping other coaches and athletes be able to train both alongside each other.
You mentioned kind of you and your teammates always having your playbooks around. What other lessons did you kind of take from both an athletic and academic standpoint from your time at SMSU? It just seemed like if you have your playbook all the time, you best be prepared for any situation that comes up.
Yeah, I think that's one, is to be prepared, for sure. I think to be on time, right ladies, right coach? To be early is to be on time. That has served me well now. I'm a military spouse, and so the military, being on time is very important too. So that, but also just, I think that excellence is more about your effort than the outcome. We can't always control, all the outcomes in our lives, and sports are in our lives, and I think, I honestly couldn't tell you our team records for the 4 years of my career, but I could tell you that we were pursuing excellence every single day, in season, off season. So I think that's probably one. And then another one is, I think it's been mentioned a couple of times, but just that it's really the relationships that really matter the most in the end. Some of my records have been broken, and I've got a good friend Josh who will send me pictures whenever that happens. And but what can't be taken away from you and what is lasting is just the relationships.
And going off that, you heard your cheering section when you were announced. You got family members, you got teammates, coaches. What does it mean just to have this group of people supporting you here tonight?
Oh gosh, I've teared up several times tonight, and I'm gonna try not to up here, but it just means the world. I have people who traveled great distances to be here, great costs to be here, people I didn't expect to be here, that it was just a nice treat, so it means the world to me.
Well, congratulations, you were an NSIC Hall of Famer.
Thank you.